Hey everybody, Kyle here with Spicer Designs. I swear it's not what it looks like. So the camera can look in there. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video we're going to be talking about the XTool P2. The P2 is XTool's largest laser that they offer, and it is a 55 watt CO2 laser. Lots of power, lots of speed, and you can make lots of money. Now you may see some clips in this video where I'm wearing a different hoodie, and that is because I already shot this entire video once. I started editing it and I absolutely hated it. It was trash. I just hate making videos that I don't like, and I wanted to come out here and just reshoot the entire thing. I try to produce the best content I can for you guys and give you as much information as possible, mixed in with a little entertainment. There's a warning label.
Yeah?
You're not supposed to stick any body parts inside this while the machine is working. I almost did. Sometimes it's a bit of a struggle, so take two. Now the XTool has a cutting surface of 26 by 14. I believe that is what they actually advertise as the cut surface. I'm not sure if the laser engraver actually can engrave to those full dimensions, but those are the dimensions for the cutting bed. The other cool feature about the P2 is it actually has internal cameras. And the cameras project an image on the Creative Space software, or if you're using Lightburn, and you can actually see where you're placing your material and where you're placing your project, your design to engrave on. It's pretty cool. So there's a camera right here in the center that projects down, and there's another camera right underneath here on the laser head. It moves with the laser head, and it allows you to get a closer image of your project or the material. Now what you're looking at right here is not just the P2. We also have the riser base underneath it. The riser base is an additional accessory that you can purchase with your P2. If you plan on using the conveyor system or the rotary tool, you are going to need that riser base. You'll need that extra distance to elevate the laser engraver itself so that you can pass material through underneath, or to recess the rotary tool down inside there and put your cylinder or whatever your object is that you're engraving on top of it. You'll need the extra space. I think you get the point. Now in typical XTool fashion, their packaging, the presentation, when you open the box, the quality and the design of their products is freaking top notch. I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to sell you on XTool. I've been using their stuff for a little while now, and I freaking love them. As some of you know, I also have the S1. Really like the S1, and I'm really looking forward to experimenting with the P2. Back to the riser base, you just push right here, it opens up, and then you have different tray levels where you can pull the tray out, put it on different levels, depending on what the height is on the object that you're engraving on. There's another access door in the back that drops open, so if you're using the conveyor accessory, that material can pass all the way through. Now we are going to be doing some experimenting with the conveyor system on the next video that we do on this P2. And we're also going to be using the rotary tool in another future video. We'll probably use that with the S1. Now they do offer this in white as well as this charcoal gray. I'm a big fan of the charcoal gray. I think it looks pretty nice. You've got some nice gas shocks in here that help assist opening that door. And then on the top side you have the tinted lens so that you don't have to technically wear the glasses. You probably should anyway, but. And if you're not familiar with the CO2 lasers, what it is a CO2 laser tube. On this XTool, it is mounted in the back of the unit. It has a built-in chiller that keeps that CO2 tube cool. And the air assist for this unit is also built into it. So with that being said, there is regular maintenance involved having a CO2 laser. Once you put some hours on your machine, there's a good chance that you need to go through, clean those mirrors, and you may even need to adjust them. Otherwise, that laser beam could start to deviate, and it will obviously mess up your laser engraving projects. The good thing is, XTool has a plethora of information about all of the maintenance, all of the different procedures, all the setup process, putting this thing together, getting it started. All over their website, they've got a support tab on their website that gives you all that information. They have a YouTube channel that gives you all that information. So if you were to get one of the XTool lasers, whether it's the P2 or any of their other models, they provide you with all the information that you need in order to get started and get working on this thing, and any maintenance that may come up later. Sounds like a damn commercial right now. It's not supposed to be a commercial. I'm just trying to give you the information on this laser. Because for one, these MFers are not cheap. So if someone's considering buying one of these, you're gonna wanna know exactly what you're getting. That's what this is for. Now the P2 comes with everything that you need to get up and running. Comes with all of your exhaust vents, Of course, your power supply cords. Comes with some tools and some extra little parts and pieces to pull all the covers off and do all the things that you need to do. There are some shipping brackets and some other things that are mounted inside of the laser to keep that laser head from bouncing around during shipping, but they provide you with all the tools that you need to disassemble all those little parts and pieces to get this thing up and running. And because this is a CO2 laser, you do have to fill up the internal chiller with coolant. They do provide you with antifreeze. That is in case you have this thing in an environment where the temperatures could get down below freezing. In our situation here, we are in a climate controlled shop, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're able to use just straight up distilled purified water. And again, XTool provides the complete procedure on how to fill that CO2 tube. You do it in 2 parts. First, you add 1100 milliliters of water. Then you turn the unit on, let it run for about 30 seconds. It purges the systems. It works out all those air bubbles. Hear that water. You see that water flushing through the system. And then you add an additional 300 milliliters of water, put the cap on, and you're good to go. Also on the back here, we've got our power on-off button. Over on the side, we have our emergency e-stop. You've got your power supply cord, and then you have your fire suppression system, which we do not have. But it is a pretty cool accessory that you can buy in addition to, I know the S1 and the P2, I'm not sure about the other lasers. I think it's got to be an enclosed laser. And then we have our exhaust vent tube, and then right down below here, we have something else that's really cool that they offer separately. This is the XTool smoke purifier. They went ahead and sent this out as well. Getting some speed.
Ah! Damn it!
Well, I didn't crush it. That shows, again, good packaging. This is going to be really nice to have in the shop because I do not have my ventilation system set up yet in here. And if you don't have a ventilation system, you can use this in place of that. This basically sucks in the exhaust from your enclosed laser engraver, goes through a series of filters, and I mean, these filters are insane. There's like 3 or 4 of them, like different layers. And I will tell you, this thing works because I already used it in the first video that I shot with this thing, and it works awesome. All you do is turn it on, and then you can turn the dial to your fan speed. It goes through that series of filters, and it blows out here right out of the exhaust. You do have the option if you want to still exhaust this outside, but I was running this thing right here inside the shop, and it was spitting out clean air. Yeah. Like always, I will have affiliate links for the XTool P2, along with some other goodies I'm going to leave down in the description. It may or may not save you some money on your XTool purchase. And XTool has another program that they're promoting right now. I'll leave that information down in the description as well. Make sure you check that out. So that's going to cover the kind of walk around brief description of the XTool. If you want more information on it, I highly recommend you check out those links I leave down in the description. It will take you to the website, and you can find all the specs, all the informative details that you want on this machine. Otherwise, it's time to start today's project. We're gonna test this sucker out. I always like to introduce the machine to the channel, do a little bit of testing, and then we'll do some cooler projects later. So today we're just gonna do some testing on some different materials. We're gonna do a basic coaster. I love my coasters. I really don't love coasters. They're just an easy project to do. We're gonna throw the Spicer Designs logo on there, and we're gonna try out some different materials. Here's what we're gonna try. We've got some is this 5mm? We've got some 3mm basswood that they actually provide with the P2 when you buy it. There is 4 sheets, so that's pretty nice. Little starter kit. Of course, leather. You know I love leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Getting better at that. Good old leather coaster. They also sent out some other material, which some of you may not know, but XTool actually does sell different material for laser engraving, which is kind of nice. And they actually incorporate the material that they sell into the Creative Space software, which we'll look at that in a little bit. So this is 3mm iridescent transparent blue film stripped acrylic, 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. There's 3 pieces in here. And we have some 5mm black acrylic, and we have some 3mm clear acrylic. I've never engraved or cut acrylic before, so I'm looking forward to that. The good thing about the tests that we're gonna do with these different materials is that we're not only testing the engraving, we're also gonna be cutting these materials. All right, so now that we know the game plan, let's get this fired up and get started. We're gonna make sure that our e-stop is released. Once you press it in, you just twist it, and it pops out. We are all plugged in. I have both the laser and the smoke purifier plugged into the same outlet, same circuit. Doesn't really pull a whole lot of juice, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the air purifier. Hear that baby fire up. Get that tube moving around. And we're going to turn on the laser engraver. Take a look at what happens in here. In this start sequence on the laser, the chiller starts up and that circulating pump starts circulating that water. And then the laser basically moves around and homes itself. You can see it's got some real nice lighting in here. And we also have removable slats. That way, if you are using something in the riser base, you can go ahead and pull those slats out, and then you can use the pan that's on the bottom there that you can remove and put on different levels. Right here you have the lock unlock symbol, which is for the door latch on the lid. And then right here it says 13 degrees Celsius. That is the temperature of the chiller water, and that is really it. Over here on the left side is our USB connection. We also have an Ethernet connection. The P2 comes with the C connector or the lightning connector to connect to this, to your laptop with a USB. All right, let's get this thing hooked up and connected, which is super easy. And I will say this about XTool. If you are new to laser engraving or you want to get into laser engraving and you are intimidated by the software, I highly recommend XTool because they have their own software called XTool Creative Space, and their software is built and designed around their laser engravers. So when you connect to an XTool laser, the software already knows every parameter, every feature, all the power settings, all the cut settings. It knows everything. It knows more about that laser than you will. Anyways, let's check it out. All right, so we have XTool Creative Space opened up here on the laptop, and we are now going to connect to the P2, which is super easy. You're gonna come up in the top right corner, hit Connect Device. It's going to search the device list here on the USBs. Cannot find, let's try to refresh. Connect device, there we go. XTool P2. I think it just took a second to find it, I don't know. So that is it. We are connected to the P2. It's super easy. And then you can see right away what pops up on the screen. That is the center camera in the P2 taking an image of that cutting bed. I'll show you what happens. We're gonna take this piece of leather and put it on that cutting bed. You can see that it's not there yet. You have to go up here and hit refresh. It will take another image of the cutting bed, and there it is. There's our piece of leather. Now we could take our design and place it right where we want on that leather, and that's where it will engrave. Kind of a cool feature. It definitely takes some getting used to. I'm sure it has its pros and cons like everything. I really am a big fan of the twin point positioning system on the S1, so this will definitely take a little getting used to. Did I mention it'll take a little getting used to? All right, we're gonna get this leather off here. We're not gonna engrave on that first. We're gonna engrave on the 3mm basswood first. Damn it! Got it. All right, we're gonna take our basswood, place it on the cutting bed. Pretty easy. We're gonna hit refresh again. There's our basswood. And then right over here, this is what's cool about the XTool material that they offer. They have a library. You hit this tab right here, and then, well, there's the first choice, is 3mm basswood. You can see all these other ones, 3mm black acrylic, which we're gonna be engraving on today. So they have all these different materials, and they already have predetermined cut and engrave settings for them, which is really nice. Again, very user-friendly. We're gonna click on the 3mm basswood, and we'll be good to go. Now we just have to import our image. So we're going to just click image. All right, so there is the Spicer Designs logo. We're gonna go over here to trace image, mess with that grayscale a little bit. We'll hit trace image again. And you can see now it recognized all the lines. We'll hit save. You can move that off. Click on the original image and delete it. So here is the image we're gonna be working with. We're gonna make a little coaster out of this. We're going to insert a rectangle, and we're gonna make that rectangle a 95mm, I think. 95 by 95mm. And we're gonna round the corners by 5mm. There we go. We're gonna move our square up here in the top left corner. That's where we want it to cut and engrave. And then we can click on our logo, and it will actually find center. It's kind of like a snapping feature. So right there looks good. And on our logo, we're going to want to engrave. And you can see the power and speed settings are already predetermined because it knows exactly what material you're using takes all the guessing out of it. And then on the second layer, which is going to be our actual cut around the coaster, we're going to hit cut. And again, it goes to 100% power, 30 millimeters per second, predetermined settings. Freaking love it. Okay, now that all that is set, we're going to hit process, and that is what our coaster is going to look like. Pretty freaking nice. Now we just have to close the lid. That beep is a good thing. Now we're just going to hit start. Now all we have to do is press the button over here. It's going to start engraving. Now we're going to give the leather a try. Something like that. Now again, I'm going to hit the refresh on the camera so we can get the image of our leather sitting in there. I'll go to the material and change that to the leather. And we're going to use that same exact design and cut it again. So pretty easy to go from one material to another. Now for the 3mm clear acrylic. Next up is the 5mm black acrylic. And last, this trippy looking transparent 3mm seizure inducing acrylic. All right, they are all finished up. We have the 3mm transparent, 3mm clear acrylic, 5mm black acrylic. We have 3mm leather and 3mm basswood. The transparent one, kind of odd. I actually thought that there was a film I was supposed to peel off right here in the corner. That was actually the transparent film, so that was a no-no. The clear is pretty freaking awesome. This is super clean, and when you shine a light through it, it actually illuminates all of your cut edges and the engraving, which you'll see right here. The 5mm black acrylic, this looks very clean as well. When it engraves in it, it engraves obviously much lighter, and it makes a perfect cut on these edges. The leather, we've seen the leather before, but it did a pretty good job. I could probably do a little bit of fine tuning with the leather. And the basswood, again, very clean engraving, very clean cut edges on that wood. I could probably bump up the power or slow the speed down a little bit to get that a little bit darker in there on the engraving, but otherwise it looks very good. Very nice. Money. So there you have it. We tested 5 different materials. Well, I guess 3 of them were all acrylic. 1 of them was a different thickness, but they all had kind of a different effect. So we're gonna call it 5 different materials. Now what you can do with a machine like this is insane. I mean, limitless amount of projects. There's websites out there with free downloads where the files are already made. This thing is a flat out money maker. And I kick myself every day. I am so busy putting these videos together. I have all of these really nice lasers that could be making me even more money, and I'm not utilizing that. At some point, I need to figure out a way to get this shop up and running, even if I have to hire someone. Every day that this shop is not done is money lost. All right, well, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Overall, I would say that this is definitely a very nice machine. I think something like this is definitely more geared toward someone that's a little bit more serious about laser engraving. And again, in a future video, we will be trying out that conveyor system. Pretty excited to do that. I have a cool project in mind. And we'll be testing out that RA2 rotary tool using the S1. Now I've just gotten started with this thing. I definitely need to put some more hours on it to really get a better understanding of exactly what it can do and how I'm gonna utilize it here in the shop. Again, be sure to check out the links down in the description along with some of the Amazon links. I left some of the tools that I use down there. Possibility of saving you some money, maybe, maybe not. Definitely check it out. And if you're not interested in the laser, maybe you already have one, definitely check out the XTool smoke purifier. That thing is freaking legit. Total game changer if you're constantly messing around with your ventilation. That is the way to go. Anyways, if you like this video and found it helpful, please hit that like button. It's really easy to do. It takes like a fraction of a second. Consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Hangnail.
You're not allowed to say comfies anymore.
Too bad. That's what they are, because they're comfy.
My idea of comfy is butt-ass naked, laying in the bed. Is that closed all the way? I'm gonna grab the Keystone Girl. I'm gonna need her hand. You know, that's for later. Oh my God, I'm like 38. I can't even lift my fucking leg up. I really need to start stretching. Stretching, drinking beer. I think I know what I'm gonna choose. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, damn it! Oh, yeah! Second time's a charm.